So I'm back with another video. In today's video I am going to check some potentiometers with a signal tracer, a capacitor, and a power supply. And in this case the power supply is going to be this 9-volt battery, which has about 7 volts left, and I think this should be able to do the job. This is a technique that you would basically use, say, if you went to a flea market and you bought some potentiometers that were in a box. I learned this a long time ago. I didn't think this up myself. Somebody showed me how to do it. It's been a while, and I did it actually very few times. And normally I don't go about checking potentiometers this way because normally they're in units, in whatever units I'm working on, and say if it's a radio, a amplifier, or a stereo receiver. Of course I can hear if the pot has noise on, but what happens, say if it's out of the unit and it's just laying around. So that's what we're going to go ahead and use this method for. Hopefully these two are a little bit scratchy, probably not, but at least I'll be able to show you the technique. I think all of the potentiometers, for example, out of stereo units, like this says here, Yamaha R300 VR105, mostly I spray these, and if they're in a unit, I try to go ahead and use them to check them out. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to reach my objective today, but if not, you would know how to do this and try it out for yourself. So basically what we're going to have the power supply here. It's going to be a low voltage power DC power supply. In this case it's a block battery, and that's going to go to the potentiometer here. And once it goes to the potentiometer, it's going to go through this capacitor here. This is a little, I think it's a 10 microfarad capacitor I had laying around. I'm going to just go ahead and try this out. I wanted to try little 1 microfarad capacitors, but of course I can't find them. And from there it's going to go to my signal tracer. So I had to shut the camera off for a second since there were people honking their horns and emergency vehicles. So I'm back now. I think what I wanted to say was the signal tracers like this, basically they have a pretty high gain, and I think Radio Shack used to sell some like this too back in the day. If you don't have one like this, or you might have, I think, or in case you have something like Heathkit, a Heathkit signal tracer. Again, I don't know if I can actually show this 100% correctly today, to hear so you can hear any kind of scratching noises here, but at least you would know the technique and you could basically try it out for yourself. So you're probably thinking, how does this technique work? Well, as I said, you use a DC power supply or a battery, as I'm doing here, and the voltage will go through this potentiometer, for example, and if there's any dirt or oxidation or something, there's going to be a break in that DC voltage, and that DC voltage is going to look like, I would say it's going to look like a spike. And as we know, the capacitor blocks DC, but it'll pass AC in general. So that spike, the capacitor will basically react, or basically think that the spike coming in is like an AC signal, and that's going to be going into here, and we should be able to hear it there if we have a really bad bad potentiometer. Now here's basically the primitive schematic I made up. All my drawings are basically primitive. You probably won't find them in a museum anywhere 100 or 1,000 years from now. So this was the 9 volts I was feeding in, or I was supposed to feed in from this block battery, 9 volt battery, but which only has 7 volts now. And you can see here it goes through, the voltage goes through the potentiometer, hits the capacitor, and initially you can see here I wrote 1 microfarad, but since I couldn't find them, I'm going to try 10 microfarads out. And then goes through the signal tracer. And I wrote here, passes AC spike waveform but blocks the DC voltage. So that's basically what you're looking at, just to get you a better idea. Okay, I got everything hooked up, but I'm going to use the power supply instead. I'm going to go ahead and try 6 volts. Initially I had put in a dropping resistor right here, but I probably don't think I need that. You know, kind of like with an LED, you put a dropping resistor in so it doesn't, LED doesn't destroy itself with too much current. It's kind of, you could do the same thing if you had a little hesitation. You could put in a little resistor. But at any rate, let's go ahead and start this, turn this on. I've got everything hooked up, and we'll go ahead and I'll work the potentiometer, like I said, through its range. So here we go. This, let me point out that this is a stereo potentiometer. I think this is a volume control, and of course it's gained. Got two, basically 2 channels. So let me go ahead and try this out. I got the power supply on, and now I just got to go ahead and turn the potentiometer. And of course this all slipped off. It'll take me a second to put everything back together. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn the potentiometer, or rather the volume control. So this is somewhat scratchy right there. You hear it right there. So that's one. Let me go ahead and try the different potentiometer. So I want to point out that when you hook up the capacitor, of course the plus side is going to be facing the potentiometer, because that's where the DC voltage is basically coming from. And this here, of course, that goes to the, here my tracer tip. So I'll get ready to go ahead and turn this a little bit, as soon as I can find a screwdriver, of course. So I've got the El Cheapo potentiometer hooked up, and I turned down the voltage now down to 3 volts, and I've got the gain here halfway on this signal tracer. And we'll go ahead and mess with this thing now, rather. And we can hear something here. Also, one thing I do notice right in the corner of my eye here, right here, if I look at the VU meter, let me see if I can't get this thing, turn it back up to, I've got it up to 5 volts now, and we'll keep an eye on the VU meter too while I turn this thing. Of course this is in the way. Right there. So this probably does have a bad spot on it there, but in general, like with the Yamaha, I thought it was kind of hard to tell, especially because this thing has such high gain. Maybe if I would have tried one out where I was 100% sure of, maybe that would have worked out. At any rate, you can experiment with this method yourself, and then go ahead and see what kind of results you have, or whether this method is even, worthwhile, basically worthwhile doing. So that about sums this up for now. Thanks for watching.